everyone. Welcome to another edition of PowerCore Productions and Podcastings. And today, we now conclude Phase 2 of Anime X Marvel, the Spiderverse saga, with ReZero, the Princess and the Spider, where Spider-Man was in ReZero, the movie, Spiderverse Edge of Time, Part 2. If you haven't, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, and hit that bell for post notifications so you can stay up to date on everything that is PowerCore Productions and Podcastings that's to come out now and in the future. Where we last left off with our series, we started with Part 1 of Spiderverse Edge of Time. Following those events, we saw that our crew of Spider-Men that we've seen throughout the makings of Phase 2 gathered together in an attempt to stop Kang the Conqueror, who had not only stolen the powers of Kurumi Takasaki, aka Nightmare, the spirit from the world of Dead Alive, but not only in doing so, wiped out all of their timelines and subsequently hired a rogue spider to kill and destroy them all. In a last-ditch effort, Shido Itsuka has arrived to the world of ReZero, and now he's in need of help. Stay tuned as we now continue and conclude our exciting two-part event. As always, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Okay, people, let's do this. One more time from the top. Make sure everybody's listening. My name is Peter Parker. You guys know me better as Spider-Man. You know, the story goes, well, just about how you expected. Bitten by a radioactive spider, death of my uncle, great power, great responsibility, all that good stuff. Ended up working with a lot of my heroes that I aspire to be, including Iron Man. Fought Captain America in Germany. That was weird. Stopped the guy that was the villain, that was my date's father on Homecoming, from stealing technology from Mr. Stark that probably would have ended up in the wrong hands. Afterwards, an alien guy looking for magic stones came to Earth, ended up going into space, fought against the guy ended up collecting all the stones, pretty much wiped out half of all life in my universe. But then something really strange happened. Instead of fading into nothing, the next thing I knew, I found myself awakening in another world entirely. A world of, well, fantasy and other types of otherworldly things. I ended up meeting a silver-haired elf girl along with her little cat-like summoning. We ended up fighting against a lot of dangerous people, even died a couple of times. Along the way, I met two maids, one with blue and one with pink hair. The one with blue hair is really cute. I can't lie about that. Pretty much stopped an evil uprising, a cult of witches who are very evil. Saved people, fought against monsters, saved more people. I died a few times too many. Learned that I had been cursed by a witch. Actually, I've made friends with a lot of witches recently. Can't really explain how any of this has happened. Got married, so there's that. We've been talking about having kids, but you know, I'm only 18 and all, so you know, we're probably gonna hold that off for maybe a few more years, but I mean, we're happy with where we're at. I mean, I'm happy. I have my lovely wife, Rem, new sister-in-law, Ram, there's Roswell, there's this guy named Subaru, who apparently got sent from another world just like me, although he arrived here like a year or so prior. There's Amelia, we're helping her ascend to get to the throne of Lagunica, and all was going pretty much as normally as I could have expected. I was just out in the forest cutting some firewood when I suddenly got a call to come back to the mansion. When I arrived, we found a boy who had crashed in the other side of the forest manor not too far away. He was kind of dressed like a Spider-Man, but his suit was really different. Cool as hell, but still really different. And we've been tending to his wounds ever since, and well, just recently he woke up. So I guess that catches you up to speed. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Sometime between all of that, Loki, yeah, Thor's brother, the guy who attacked New York all the way back in 2012, yeah. So like somehow, some way, he ended up joining this thing called the TVA, and he's basically been like fighting like things in the multiverse or whatever. And there was this girl called the Scarlet Witch who was like body hopping across dimensions, really nasty stuff. She used this thing called the Darkhold. Yeah, you know what that is? Kind of like the Necronomicon Deus Mortis. You get the idea. So basically, he ended up recruiting me along with a whole bunch of other weird like people from different universes. Like there was this ninja guy from another world who was like the Sorcerer Supreme or something. Called himself what was it? Yeah, Naruto. He called himself Naruto. He had like blonde hair, whiskers, the whole 9 yards. Honestly, if I don't recall, I think we had a story in my world called Naruto. Apparently, he's real. Okay. There was a Captain America who had this thing called a stand, right? He called it Blue Liberty or something like that. He's like a stand user. He's what he called himself. I don't fully get it, but it was really badass. There was this kid called Tanjiro. He had this thing called Venom. And he has a little sister that he keeps in a box. I don't know if that's breaking any laws or whatever, but they seem cool enough. There was this guy named Issei also. He was the Ghost Rider apparently, like skull, flames, like whole deal. Like he has a skyline. It's really, really cool. Then I met a kid named Bel Crenell, and somehow he's Thor in his universe, but he's not an Asgardian. I met a kid named Izuku Midoriya. Apparently, he's like an Iron Man. Not related to Mr. Stark or anything. I wonder if his world has a Peter Parker or a Spider-Man or something like that. I don't fully get it myself. But anyway, all of us ended up teaming up and we fought against the Scarlet Witch. We met another group called the Illuminati. They seemed pretty cool. I met a guy who was the superior Spider-Man or something like that. He kind of looked like someone I knew, but it wasn't really him. So, all in all, I mean, we ended up doing a pretty good job. I helped save the multiverse. I came back home, survived. Everything's in one piece. Oh, yeah, almost forgot. I did travel to, like, another world because there was this kid. His name was Miles Morales. Yeah. Apparently, I was older. I married MJ. I died. I did the snap thing. Apparently, I did the snap twice. I don't even know how I do that. Yeah, so he called me by accident with a spell with these 2 other Spider-Men. We ended up fighting these villains from all across our world's history and lore and stuff. I fought Betelgeuse and Elsa. I saved Elsa somehow. I have no idea how I did that. And then we came back home. So technically, I kind of saved the multiverse twice. And it looks like I'm about to save it for a 3rd time. But anyway, I've rambled long enough. Let's get back into it all, shall we? Shido had explained to them everything he had been through, everything that happened, the meaning of the other Spider-Men, the fight with Kang, or the fail thereof, and now how he had gotten into this world. Everyone listened attentively, Roswald especially. A power to control time? He wondered, could this be what he was looking for? The power that could help him get back to his love, Echidna. All the same, Peter took this the most seriously out of anyone. Well, that's basically the gist of everything that happened. I see. So, why didn't you guys find me sooner? He said you were the hardest one to find. He had been looking for you especially, apparently you and your old team. He must be talking about that group Loki had put together. If I'm being entirely honest, even if he had found that group, I doubt we could have made that much of a difference in the grand scheme of things. If this Kang is really as strong and as dangerous as you say he is, then it was going to take a lot more effort on everyone's part. But he was really convinced that you could have made a difference. Peter would think to himself, well, he's not entirely wrong. I mean, with return by death and all, I probably could have afforded to die as many times as necessary. Although in doing so, I have no idea how many timelines I create every time I die. if I'm making any ones at all. There's still so much about this power that even I don't understand. Peter? Rem would say as she held on to the hands of her now newly wedded husband. Don't worry, Rem. Everything's gonna be fine. And Shido, we're gonna find a way to fix this. I promise. But how? I don't have any way to travel across dimensions. I have no idea what's going on. So this Kang, he stole the power from this girl you know, Kurumi. Why is this power so significant? Well, I'm new to all this, but from what I've been able to understand, Kang is basically trying to be the master of time and space itself, conquer different multiverses, travel across different timelines at will. Kurumi's powers are very, very powerful, but they can only work in her dimension. Outside of them, well, they're basically useless. But it's like an open tool for Kang to use any way he sees fit, because in some weird way, he's connected to everything. He stole her eye, and he's basically creating time remnants of himself. Time remnants? Yeah, it's basically a power Kurumi had. She could pull herself from different points in time. Well, as I've already explained, Kang is fighting not just against heroes, but against other Kangs, other versions of Kang. Yes, but this one we're fighting specifically, he has the power to make an army of just himself and not rely on alternate versions. Or here's a better way to explain. Imagine if you could, well, basically pull yourself, like the actual you right now, from the future. Say like 5 seconds from the future. I think I get it. I would just be pulling me, an exact me, not a different version or an alternate version of me, but just me. Yeah, so like you have 60 seconds in a minute. I mean, if you really want to get minute with it, he could pull 60 of himself, those from the future and those from the past. Then think of how many people he could pull of himself from a minute in the past or a minute in the future. Roswald would say. That is a tricky power to deal with, young Parker. How so, Roswald? Because time is a nearly infinite thing. If this Kang now possesses the power to pull his time remnants from the past, the present, and even the future, then he has an almost limitless army of himself to use at his disposal. He's like a plague that can never end. If I had to hypothesize, the only way to destroy him will be by finding the one who's at the source of it all. If you put a stop to him, his time remnants will surely fall after. Yeah, but this guy's the master of time. He can see everything, every timeline, every possibility. He wiped out... What? Peter would say. He wiped out all of our timelines. All of them. He destroyed them? No, he wiped them out of existence, meaning they're not here anymore. He's that powerful? Ron would say. This is really bad, Amelia would also chime in. No worries, Mealy. I'll protect you, Subaru would say. Amelia would smile at this. But she's right, Peter would say. If he really has the power to just wipe out a timeline like that, then none of them, not even ours, is even safe. I doubt there's anywhere we could go in this world that could possibly protect us at this point. Although, Peter still had his reservations. Does Return by Death work on that high of a level, Peter would think? Did he even have the capabilities to survive the erasure of his whole world and timeline? I mean, if so, then Return by Death was even more greater than he could have possibly thought. After all, in one universe, Puck basically froze over the entire world, and it came to an entire end. And yet somehow he was still here. But again, all this time, he never knew whether or not he was just restarting in his world or just creating another timeline. That he still couldn't figure out. It was honestly the reason why he had gone so long without dying. He had come to value his life. Just because he had returned by death didn't mean he was in any real rush to try to use it. In fact, he couldn't even remember the last time he had died. While he was grateful, it was also kind of alarming. Who knew if he died any time in the future where his restart point would be? Would he lose everything he had gained up until now? That was a fear that was crossing his mind, but at the same time, this Kang guy, one way or another, he had to be stopped. Even if he didn't come here yet, from what it sounded like, it would only be but a matter of time before Kang set his sights on this world. There wasn't any way to just ignore him. Of course, the group had much to discuss and much to think about. They had no idea what was going to come next. That's why all of them were all the more shocked when suddenly the wall would burst open. Peter, being the only one to recognize this with his spider sense, would have everyone move and stand down. Beatrice would rush into the room afterwards to make sure everyone was okay, especially Peter. "Don't worry, Betty. I'm fine." "Good. It seems like we have unwanted guests." "Peter?" Everyone turned as, walking through the bellow of smoke and dust, a figure dressed in black. If Peter didn't know any better, he could almost swear he was looking into a mirror. Even under the mask, he had this unsettling feeling like he knew exactly what face he was going to see. "Who are you?" Rem would ask as she entered into her Oni form, her single horn beginning to grow from her forehead as she summoned her swinging mace. "Rem." The figure walked towards her. However, she would swing her mace towards him. It was pointless as he was able to grab the spiked ball with his bare hand, stopping it and pulling her close, wrapping her in his arms. "I never thought I'd get to hold you again. I always..." Before he could finish, though, she would punch and kick at him, eventually setting herself free. However, he summoned a black tendril to wrap her up. "It'll all make sense soon, I promise. Right now, I just have to get rid of the trash." However, before he had a chance to do anything, Peter had already summoned his sword. Slicing off the tendril, he would push back against the black-suited Spider-Man. Shido and Beatrice, along with Subaru and Amelia, following close behind. Roswald and Rom helping with Rem as they watched from a distance. "Mind telling me what you're doing around here, pal? I mean, I know that we all get a little down bad sometimes, but that doesn't give you the right to go around stealing other people's wives, you know." "Wife? I think you're mistaken. That's my wife you're talking to." "Okay, I don't know if I took crazy pills or something, but the last time I checked, I was the one standing at the altar. I'm the one that said I do, and she's wearing my ring right now, buddy. So, yeah, my wife. So you mind telling me what the hell you're doing putting your hands on her? Unless you got a death wish or something." "I've had a death wish for a long time. But ever since I got stuck with this damn curse, I can't fulfill it. But maybe if I take you out." "And just who the hell are you?" The mask would slowly disintegrate from the black-suited Spider-Man. Shido couldn't help but gulp. "You didn't tell me you had a brother." "I don't." Peter would walk closer to the black-suited Peter. He had been given a new suit by Rem not too long ago. When she had saw what the other Spider-Men were wearing, and after Peter's old and dingy suit had gotten messed up in many battles, she wanted him to have one of his own. It was inspired by those other Peter Parkers that she had met, blue and red made alike. It had shades of Peter's old suit, the one he had gotten from Mr. Stark, but with a lot more simpler, a lot more of an iconic feel. The black-suited Spider-Man, say only for the white spider etched on his chest, the two Peters would come face to face, both looking almost entirely identical, but yet entirely separate. "Who are you?" Peter would ask. "You already know the answer," would say the black-suited Peter. "I'm you. I'm you in every way, shape, and form. But how do you have a symbiote? Apparently there was one crawling on Titan. I'm judging that you never had one? No. Unfortunately, never came across it." "I see. So that's how we differ. During our fight on Titan against Thanos, I managed to come across the symbiote, and you didn't. But we both got sent to this world, right?" "Yes, that much remains the same." "Then how much of you is..." "She died." "Rem? Betelgeuse, right? The cultists? They slaughtered them. They butchered them like animals. I had two choices in that moment. I could give up, I could fall into despair, or I could exact my revenge. I killed them. I killed every single one of them. And you know, some of the villagers were cultists as well. Not just the men or the women, even the children too. I didn't let a single one of them survive. I killed all of them. Brutally. And I enjoyed it too. This world, everyone in it, I was sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of this royal selection. I was sick and tired of the games, the politics, all this nonsense. This world needed order and structure, and I gave it that. I killed everyone. Only the strong served at my side. I even managed to take down Reinhardt, the sword master. Can you believe that? You killed... Let me guess. Reinhardt's still alive in this world. Don't worry. If he comes after me, and I just get to kill him a second before he even had a chance to finish, he would be punched in the face. How could you do something like that? What the hell's wrong with you? I knew you wouldn't understand. What's there to understand? You think you're in the right here? You're a murderer. You think she would have wanted that for you? And you think she'd ever love you after what she will love me. All I have to do is get rid of you. And then we don't even have to stay here anymore. We can run away, run far away. I'm tired, all right? I didn't ask for this. I didn't ask for any of this. I didn't ask to be bit by that damn spider. I didn't ask to be stuck or dragged in Mr. Stark's stupid war. I didn't ask for her to die. And yet, Yet all of this, have you forgotten everything? Everything you were taught? Aunt May, Uncle Ben, you think they would have wanted this for you? Well, they're gone. They're gone for me, and they're damn sure gone for you. You're never going to see them again. I'm never going to see them again. None of them. They're all dead. Kang came to my world. We tried to fight him off. He killed everyone. Wiped out everything. My timeline was already going to hell, so honest to God, he did me a favor. But he let me live. I did him a favor, he'd send me to this world. He didn't even have to do it. Your friend opened up the way. I have a second chance, and I'm going to take it. And to do so, it means you have to die. You know about me. You know what I am. You know it's not going to be that simple. Don't worry. I'll find a way. The two Spider-Men would mask up as they engaged in combat. Peter, using his wind magic, would propel himself in the air, while using his enhanced webbing to grab and to swing around the forested area, battling against the black-suited Spider-Man. Their movements were in perfect synchronization, as if they both knew each other well. Peter using his sword, and the black-suited Spider-Man creating a sword out of his symbiote. The two would collide with one another as they engaged in battle, Shido not sure of what to do next. In the meanwhile, Rem and the others weren't sure of how to get involved or how to proceed. Roswald instead holding them back, mainly because he wanted to observe the two Peters before him. He didn't have the gospel anymore, that had long since been destroyed. But even still, he wondered, was this something preordained? An event that could not be unwritten? As the two Spider-Mans continued to fight, they found themselves almost entirely even. Even with the black-suited Spider-Man having the multiple forms of blessings that he had taken and received in his old world, this version of himself was still able to persist and hold on. It seemed like there was no end in sight for either of them as they continued on in their battle. Shido would try to get involved also. His strength was coming back to him and he wanted to help any way that he could. Although even in this fight, he knew he was still pretty outclassed. All the same though, the three were ready to strike all at once, when a sinister laugh rung out through the forest. Domain expansion. Malevolent shrunk. The three boys found themselves being enveloped in darkness, surrounded by a dome. On the inside, they found themselves standing in waters, with a mountain of skulls leading up to a throne, and who sat upon it? Miles? Shido would say.
You address me
as Lord Sukuna,
or
King of Curses. How the hell are you still alive? The black-suited Spider-Man would ask. I know I killed you. I buried my hand right through your chest. I felt your heart beating on the other side. There's no way you can still be here.
You mean
this heart? Sukuna would pull down his robe, removing it from the chest area to reveal where the scar remained, from where the black-suited Spider-Man thought he had killed him.
You managed to
kill my vessel.
So for that,
you have my thanks and gratitude.
However, I'm the one in control now.
And you are in my domain,
where I reign
supreme.
First things first.
I'm gonna lay waste to every single one of you miserable
wretches.
And
And then, once I'm free,
I'm gonna make my way back to that
damned castle.
And just for the fun
And
of
just
it,
for the fun of it,
I'm gonna watch
some heads roll.
I'll start with that.
Goof in the weird sports jacket.
Yeah.
Then I'll make my way to the clown.
Then to really
spice things up, I'll pop off the head of that twin-tailed lolly.
Then I'll go with
the silver-haired little elf girl.
Then that leaves
the two maids.
Who should I do? Eeny,
meeny, miny, mo.
Which
dumb bitch
has got
to go? Before Shido knew what happened next, the two Peters immediately raced towards Sukuna. Sukuna was impressed by their speed, seeing how the both of them had managed to catch him at the same time as they both drove him off his throne and into the ground. You ever come near her again, I swear to God, I will make sure I finish what I started. And that goes double for me.
Looks like I
struck a nerve.
With all this hatred.
I'd hate to imagine what would have happened if you two had become Jujutsu sorcerers.
You definitely
would have been a pain in my ass. The Spider-Man would battle against Sukuna inside of his domain. Despite all of their strength and all of their efforts, in terms of power, in this area, Sukuna reigned supreme. They managed to get in a few good hits, but Sukuna was able to strike back with his own ferocity. And feeling as though he had finally had his fun and his fill, he was getting ready to finish all of them off in one final move. However, before he could even have the chance, his domain would start to break away. Even Sukuna was perplexed. They weren't Jujutsu sorcerers, so just who or what could have had the strength to break through his domain? As it shattered and disappeared, the four now found themselves in a completely different area. They were in a valley, a field of grass and hills in endless sight. And sitting on top of one of those hills, a woman with long silver hair, dressed in black, enjoying a cup of tea. Hello, everyone. Won't you join me for a cup of tea? Echidna? Both the black-suited Spider-Man and the red and blue-suited Spider-Man would say in unison. They were very much aware of who this person was. Shido was still confused, and well, for Sukuna, he didn't entirely care. All that mattered was that someone had gotten in his way. He lunged towards Echidna, ready to snap her neck. However, before he could do anything, he found himself falling to the ground as he looked up at Echidna. My, I must say, you are an awfully rude individual. Here I offer you hospitality and even a cup of tea, and maybe even some cookies as well. And you come with such violence and reverie. I must say, I don't care for you too much, so I would prefer to speak to the other one, if you will.
And just who in the hell do you think you are?
Do you know who I am, bitch?
I'm Ryomen Sukuna.
King of the curses.
I bow
to no one. And no one subjugates me.
You sit all
high and mighty now.
How are you gonna feel
when I plunge my hand to the back of your damn... I am very aware of who you are, Ryomen Sukuna. I'm aware of all of you. I've seen everything that's happened up until now. It's all been a viewing of my pleasure. And Sukuna, let me educate you. Your domains, or whatever you call them. They are quite impressive, quite powerful. But do you know where you're standing? Do you know what you're in? You're in the witch's graveyard. Our domain. And here we reign supreme. The 7 witches. You see, Sukuna, you should learn good manners. Had you done so, I wouldn't have interfered with your plans. But now that you've really pissed me off, Echidna would stand on her feet as she tapped Sukuna on the forehead. It's time for you to go to sleep for a while, O King of Curses. And I look forward to seeing what you'll do in the future. Truly, I do. With that, Sukuna would curse faintly under his breath before slumping to the ground. His clothes would morph and shift into that of what Miles had been wearing, as Miles would now stand on his feet once again. I'm alive, and... Oh crap, it's you! Miles would stand back, readying his cursed energy, ready to launch an attack at the last moment. Get away from him! He's... Now, Echidna would say. There's no need for fighting. We can all get along here, now can we? All of the Spider-Men, at least those that remained, would now listen to Echidna. You boys have gotten yourself in quite a jam, don't you think? Echidna, the classic Peter, as we'll call him for now. What on earth's going on? Why did you call us here? Wait, hold on. Why are they here? I mean, what? Don't you remember the deal we made? You allowed me to peer into your life. But it's not your life alone that I can peer into. No, I can see into the great web. I'm now what you might call connected to your Spiderverse. Spiderverse? Miles would say? Yes. Infinite timelines stretching across the void. Echidna would show them the web that was hanging on top of the umbrella that was over her tea party. As they looked into the web, they saw that within each square there was a world. Different Spider-Men, all of them from different places and points in time. Classic Peter would ask Echidna, have you been watching all of this? I have. I even watched when that army of Spider-Men tried to fight against that fellow Kang the Conqueror. Safe to say, it didn't go well. Why didn't you tell me? I didn't even have any idea what was going on. It wasn't my place to interfere, Peter. You must understand. This is something that was even beyond me. And besides, even if I had told you, it wouldn't have changed the outcome. Things had to proceed this way up until this point. And then there's you. She turned to the black-suited Spider-Man. You've just been causing a whole mess of trouble now, haven't you? There's no point in explaining it. You've seen everything I've been through. Besides, it's not like you care anyway. If anything, you enjoy seeing multiple outcomes and possibilities. Aren't you the Witch of Greed? The one that craves all form of knowledge? If anything, it would be boring if you saw two lives exactly the same. Well, you're definitely not wrong there. But still, all the same, you have found the wrong answer at every which way and turn. The wrong answer? Yes. You conquered your world, you subjugated it, you did everything you could. And tell me, what has it gotten you? Do you find yourself fulfilled? Have you achieved what you've wanted to achieve? You wanted Rem back. But unfortunately, that was not in the cards for you. Then why? Tell me why. Why the hell did you choose me? Why did you want me here? I didn't choose you. She chose you. You could not love yourself. That was something you could never figure out. You may be Spider-Man, but you do not understand truly what that represents. I've watched countless versions of you over this period of time. I've watched you all struggle. I've watched you suffer. And yet time and time again, you've managed to stand, to rise, to get back on your feet. You managed to make your own destiny. You defied your fates. However, you could not. And that is because you could not accept the truth within your own heart. The truth? The black-suited Spider-Man would ask. What truth? What truth could there possibly... I'll show you. Have a cup. What? If you want the truth, then drink the tea. The black-suited Spider-Man didn't want to listen. He thought that all this was just nonsense at this point, but he listened to her words. As he did so, as he drank the tea, everything around him would change. He was now back. He was wearing his red and blue suit, the one that he had when he came to this world. He was at the mansion, Roswald's mansion. The witch cultists, the civilians, all dead around him. Hey there. He would turn as he saw her. Rem? He walked closer to Rem. As he fell to his knees, Rem would kindly wrap her arms around him. Rem, I'm so sorry. I should have let you go alone. You've been through a lot, haven't you? You've been struggling for so long. My death. It's something that's haunted you, hasn't it? I can't. I'm not strong. I couldn't do it. I tried. I took my own life. I killed myself over and over again. But no matter what I did, it wouldn't let me go back. I couldn't go back. I couldn't bring you back. What did I do wrong? Why could... I would have died. I would have died 1,000 times. Any amount. If I could just see you again. Peter, I want you to know that I love you. I have and I will always love you. You lost your way. I understand. But even still, it doesn't mean that I've ever given up on you, on the man that you are, the man that I know you can be. I have faith in you. You're a hero. You're Spider-Man, the boy who risked his life to save others, the boy who's fought against the odds. You have a strength in you, one that even inspires me. I know that life has been hard for you. You fell into the darkness, and I'm truly sorry. I'm sorry that I wasn't there for you, that I couldn't pull you out. I hope that I can make up for it now. You don't have to give in. You don't have to keep staying in the darkness. But I can't. I can't go back. Not after everything I've done. My world, it's all... You're right. You cannot take back what you've done. That will stay with you, unfortunately. But even still, I believe you have the strength to overcome it. You have the strength to surpass it. And I know that if you do, I know that I will always be with you. I love you. I loved you in the beginning, and I loved you even in the end. Even now, I still love you. You are my one and my only, my precious Spider-Man. The black-suited Spider-Man would now awaken back into the witch's sanctuary. The realization had now finally dawned upon him. Echidna with a small smile on her face. What did she do? Miles would ask. She showed him a possibility, classic Peter would say. She showed him the truth that he kept buried even within his own heart. It's a truth that we sometimes all need. And now he's gotten his. I am grateful for the help, Echidna, classic Peter would say. But that still doesn't fix our other problem. Ah, yes, you're referring to that Kang fellow. You want to go and fight him? We have to stop him one way or another. It's going to be a lot easier said than done. His conquest is starting to get out of hand. At this point, there won't be many worlds left. And it's not just the worlds that he knows. He's now setting his sights on the anomalies. The anomalies? Yes. They're worlds that, technically speaking, he shouldn't have access to, but now he does. He's going to go into these worlds and take what he can for himself. If he continues on this path, he will destroy everything. Everything? I don't think he can destroy everything. At least for Miles. There's nothing left to go back to. All of our worlds, everything is gone. I think I know some people who can help. 2 portals would open behind them. As quickly as they opened, they closed behind, and 2 figures were now there. 2 that classic Peter was very familiar with. Toby Peter and Andrew Peter. You know who I'm talking about. Okay, how did that just happen? Andrew Peter would ask. Well, looks like we got called into another crisis, Toby Peter would say. Guys, you're here. The three Spider-Men would embrace into a group hug once more. "How you been, buddy?" Toby Peter would say. "Yeah, man, how's it going?" Why are we all in that... Oh, hi. Hi there, Peter, Echidna would say to Andrew Peter, who began to blush mighty happily. Do you have a crush on Echidna?" Classic Peter would ask. "No, but I mean, if she can call me here anytime, you can call me anytime, like, when I'm not doing anything, I'll keep that in mind." Yes. I'm so sorry. Okay, but seriously though, why are we all here? "What's going on?" Toby Peter would ask. "It's Kang." "Kang, okay. Who's Kang?" "He's a guy from the future who's using power to take over the multiverse. A group of Spider-Men tried to fight him. He ended up killing almost all of them, and he wiped out their worlds, and he's looking to do the same to even more." Okay, that definitely explains a lot. So, what can we do to help? What can they do to help? Classic Spider-Man would ask. I mean, not that I'm not grateful for their help, but you all are the only Spider-Men that seemingly remain now. At least the only ones that I could manage to gather together. All of you are going to have to work together to go up against Kang, to stop him, to save all of the worlds, and to bring them back. "We can bring them back?" Miles and Shield would say at the same time. "Yes, they can be brought back. However, you're going to have to get to Kang, and that's going to be a lot easier said than done." "Well, how exactly do we get to him?" Classic Peter would ask. "You have to find a point in time where Kang will collide with a Spider-Man." "A point in time where Kang collides with a Spider-Man?" Toby Peter would ask. "Yes. Don't you understand the deal you made with me? When you allowed me to peer into your lives, to peer into your Spiderverse, you could say that I've opened a gateway of sorts. A gateway to allow me to access points of your life. I can see them, of course. How you get there, though, that will be up to you. As far as a moment in time where Kang collides with a Spider-Man, there are many. Seeing as how he wants to subjugate and take out the multiverse, as well as all alternate versions of himself. I found one. This point right here. It's referred to as Earth 8096. Earth 8096? Andrew Peter would ask. Yes. All of your worlds are in a numerical order of some sorts. This is Earth 8096, and it's going to be at this point in time where a Spider-Man will engage in battle against a Kang variant. In all likelihood, since it hasn't been wiped out or destroyed yet, Kang will likely set his sights on that world. When he comes there, that's when you make your move against him. And, thankfully, you won't be alone. You'll have some people to help you. Classic Spider-Man would look as he didn't recognize some of these heroes. Well, a few of them. There was War Machine, at least, a version of himself. I don't recognize these other guys. Well, the ones to the right, they're referred to as Iron Fist and Luke Cage. They did exist in your world, Peter. It's just that you never had the fortune of meeting them. As for the other two, that one, it's the Thing, Toby Peter would say. You know him? Yeah, he's a part of the Fantastic Four. We have them in my world. Wait, the Fantastic Four? You have the Fantastic Four, but you don't have the Avengers, Classic Peter would say. But hold on, who's the Fantastic Four? Classic Peter would ask. You guys have other heroes? Andrew Peter would ask. I don't have any other heroes. Oh no, you do. It's just, it's a little complicated, Echidna would say. How complicated? We don't have to get into specifics. But who's that other guy? I think I've seen him on the news. I mean, I can't confirm or deny, but he's a part of some group. They call themselves the X-Men. The X-Men. Who are the X-Men? You'll see them soon enough. In either case, you need to get to World 8096, and as soon as possible. But how are we going to get there? I mean, wait, how did you bring them here? I only brought them here because they're connected to me. But I don't have a connection with this Spider-Man, so I have no way of getting you there. Wait, Toby Peter would say. I think I have a way for us to get there. How? I know a guy. Like I said. You know a guy? Miles would say. Look, are you guys going to come with me or not? All of them didn't have a choice. Of course, the black-suited Spider-Man, he wasn't sure if he should go, but Classic Peter would turn to him. It includes you too, man. But you want to make things right, don't you? Then help us out. It's what she would have wanted. And with that, he would join them. The group would follow behind Toby Peter as they left the sanctuary. Echidna would look up to the web. Good luck, my Spider-Man. At the Baxter Building, Mr. Reed Richards, also known as Mr. Fantastic, was working in the laboratory late that evening. His wife, Susan Richards, had gone out to get them some dinner, some Chinese food. They were going to be enjoying a quiet night together. Ben was on a date, and Johnny, well, he was out enjoying the high life as usual. Reed was looking through a monitor, trying to break through on his latest discovery, when suddenly there would be a knock at his window. Turning to see what had caused it, he was surprised that up high in the skylines of New York, there were multiple Spider-Men. Reed had no idea what was going on, but treading cautiously, he opened the window, addressing the one Spider-Man he did recognize. Spider-Man and his amazing friends? Hey, Mr. Richards, you mind if we come inside? Sure. Why not? Come on in. To make a long story short, they would explain everything that happened to Mr. Fantastic, and Mr. Fantastic, being a man of science, would take it all in stride and would be fascinated. Okay, so let me get this straight. You made a deal with a witch who made a deal with this Spider-Man and this Spider-Man that allows her to look into your multiverse, and you, pointing to Shido, you and another group of Spider-Men were pulled together from the multiverse to fight against this being called Kang the Conqueror, He beat your team, wiped out your world, sent you to his world. Then he pointed to the black suited Spider-Man. You come from another world. You tried to invade his world. You are a Spider-Man that has a demon inside of you. Your demon tried to attack them, but the witch somehow put you back in control. You've all gathered together and you've come to me to try to figure out how to travel across the multiverse so you can get to a specific point in time so you can find and stop this Kang. Did I get the gist of it? They would all nod. That was pretty much the gist of it. Okay, not the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. Well, you've come to the right place, technically, but, I mean, this is, oh man. This is really dangerous, traveling across the I mean, if all this is going on, I can call for help and backup. We don't have time, Mr. Fantastic, Spider-Man would say. I mean, I appreciate the help, I really would, but we have to get going. I mean, I would say stand on standby in case anything happens, but if Kang gets what he wants, he's just going to end up coming to this world in one way, fashion, or form. Right. Well, then we don't have much time to waste. Follow me, boys. Mr. Fantastic would then show them to the portal, one that he had been constructing. Originally, it took you to the negative zone, but he had been modifying it as a way of making the negative zone more of a stopgap than anything else. The negative zone being basically a point in time where there was no point in time, and through the negative zone, you could basically travel to any other point in the multiverse. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of you. Thankfully, I've got a couple of spare suits. This here is the gateway to the negative zone. Although, actually, you could say it's a gateway to other multiverses. So, what are we going to do exactly? Well, there's no we, it's you. You all are going to have to travel through the negative zone, navigate through the negative zone, then find the exit point that is that coordinate that you all have, and they'll take you where you need to go. So we have to travel through the negative zone. Yeah, that's why you're going to need these suits. He would open the storage container where all the suits were, allowing them to travel through the negative zone safely. And you have this prepared for such an occasion? Well, the negative zone, it's a complicated thing, and firing up this machine, it's all the more cumbersome. But all the same, if you need to get to this coordinate, this is going to be the best way for you all to do so. Thanks. I'll try to return the suits as... don't worry about it. I'll just have more made. Besides, you need to make sure you stop this guy. I'm going to make sure that I have the team on standby just in case anything goes wrong over here on our end. Be careful, okay? Everyone would suit up and the portal would be open to the negative zone. Reed would give them a locator, a device that would allow them to look through and find the portal to the multiverse. Put in the coordinates for the world that you want to get to. As you're traveling through the negative zone, it'll signal when you found the portal that'll exit where you need to go. When you find that portal, you jump through it and you get through as soon as you can. You may not have too many chances, and if not, you'll be lost in there for who knows how long. Time doesn't pass, so you might be stuck in there eternity, and you don't have eternity. The group would nod and take their leave as they would make their way through the negative zone. Walking through an area in which time did not exist was unsettling for most. But for the group of spiders, as they made their way trudging through the negative zone, even in the containment suits that they had been given, they could still feel just faintly the effects. "Hey guys," Andrew Peter would say, "I don't know if it's just me, but anybody else feeling..." "Yeah," the black-suited Spider-Man said to them all. "Even without the symbiote, I can feel all of the negativity welling up inside of me." "Easy there," There's no need to get riled up. We just have to stay focused, not let this place overwhelm us. It's easier said than done. This place is called the negative zone for a reason. It just radiates the negativity. It's suffocating to a degree. The containment suits, Reed said they can only protect us but for so long. The longer we stay here, the less the effects will hold. As they continued making their way, Classic Peter would hold on to the detector. Eventually, when the signal would go off, they would find the area that they needed to go to. Although, within the negative zone itself, there are creatures, otherworldly, ones of whose names have been lost to the endless void. And you never know when they might strike. Spider senses would ring off for everyone. Even for Shido, without use of the sense, his reflexes were more than enough to make up for that. They all would run across the landscape, running for their lives as something underground burrowed beneath, before a giant worm-like creature made its way to the surface, chasing after them. "What the hell is that thing? Alaskan bullworm?" Miles would say. "Now's not the time for that. We gotta get out of here." The group would continue running as quickly as they could. Miles would summon as much cursed energy as he could fire. Within the negative zone itself, he found himself almost supercharged. Miles would launch off a torrent blast of his venom strike, the electricity shocking the enemy and causing it to stun and hold in place. The amount of energy he managed to display was far greater than what even he was capable of. When the group would turn back to Miles asking how he did that, he would hypothesize that it must have been because of just being in the negative zone. He used cursed energy, an energy that was built off of negativity, and now the negativity was literally in the air like a form of miasma. He was just able to take it in naturally and use it better than anyone. "Man, if he has that type of power," Toby Peter would say, "then maybe we should just bring Kang to this realm. I mean, it would be enough to give us the edge, don't you think?" "Maybe, but in the end, we're still just as susceptible. Miles might be the only one who could actually use his powers in this world effectively. Everyone else, not so much." As they continued their run, hoping to get away from the stunned beast, they would soon find the alarm ringing. "Guys, I've got a signal," Classic Peter would say. "Wait, then the portal shouldn't be too far from here." They would use the locator to move closer and closer to the center core. As they would look up, just above them, they would see a vortex, a portal of sorts starting to open. "It looks like that's the spot. All right. Once we get here, we'll be in a time zone where Kang will likely be able to find us. If he's trying to wipe out other versions of himself, this is going to be a convergent zone where we'll meet. How exactly are we going to stop Kang once we get to him? If he's using his time remnants, who's to say that he's going to send the real one? All we need is the remnant. It can take us back to the real one." With that, everyone would hold on tight. In one mighty jump, they would push and make their way high into the sky above, firing off a web that would be pulled into the vortex of the portal, as they would all be flung in to Universe 8096. Universe 8096, aka the home of Avengers, Earth's mightiest heroes. However, at this point in time, the Avengers, well, frankly, no longer existed. After a great battle, the original Avengers team would be wiped out. In their stead, Iron Man had sent out invitations to specific heroes to take over the role of being the Avengers in the event that the original team were to fall. This team consisted of Wolverine from the X-Men, the Thing of the Fantastic Four, both Luke Cage and Iron Fist of Heroes for Hire, War Machine, as well as Spider-Man. Or to be more specific, in this universe, he was known as Ultimate Spider-Man. However, this new group of Avengers had their hands full. They were in downtown New York as civilians and people were running for their lives. Their opponent? Kang the Conqueror, or Kang of Universe 8096. The Avengers were having their hands full as they fought against Kang, but they were managing to get the upper hand against him. Kang, seemingly on the verge of victory, was ready to make his next strike when suddenly another Kang would appear. However, this Kang was different, for in his left eye there stood a golden clock, the power of Nightmare. And just who are you? Ultimate Kang would ask. I am the superior. Superior to you, my friend. Another me. And just what fancy trinkets have you gotten for yourself that you believe you are superior? I have become the master of time, and I don't need to worry about my variants any longer. Ultimate Kang would find himself in the grasp of the new Kang, Superior Kang. He would then summon the clock of Nightmare behind him. Using the flintlock, he shot it into the side of his head. Second hand, Bet. Increasing his speed using the second hand of the clock and its power. He would use Zafkiel behind it, along with Dalet as well, rewinding time and allowing him to take hold before Kang could even manage to strike him, using the second hand to increase his speed, making him nearly untouchable. The Ultimate Kang would stand no chance as he was soundly defeated, as the Time Remnant himself would look over to the new Avengers. Ultimate Spider-Man looking up to see that yet another Kang had appeared and had seemingly killed the first. He looked over to his comrades who were still reeling. Up on your feet, guys. The battle's not over. If anything, it just got a whole lot worse. Another Spider-Man. The Ultimate Spider-Man is what they call you. I must say, this is getting rather dull. I do wish that there was a Spider-Man that could give me a challenge. Well, how about 6? Kang would turn to immediately be punched in the face. Classic Peter along with Black Spider. The two of them landing simultaneous strikes. As Kang would get back to his feet, he couldn't believe it. I thought we had a deal. I give you a world where you can be back with your precious beloved, and you get rid of my problems. Well, unfortunately for you, I just became your problem. No, you didn't become my problem. You've become nothing but a fleeting memory. Kang would draw both guns in either side. In case you've forgotten, I am the master of time. You have no chance against. To his left and to his right, both Andrew Peter and Toby Peter would shoot their webs at his hands, stopping him from using his guns. It's what Shido had warned them about ahead of time. In doing so, it would create the opening that they needed to strike, and Miles would follow close behind. Everyone get in around them and hold on. Don't let him use his power long enough for me to activate the domain. Wait, the what? Well, you'll see for yourself. I wish Fushiguro were here. I can only pull off half of the domain. It's gonna be completely imperfect, but it'll get the job done. Domain expansion. 8-fold prism. 8 spider legs would appear from the ground, wrapping around the entire area like a cage, webbing forming in between the legs, eventually growing dark until they found themselves in a web-like world where Kang was in the center. What is this? It's called a domain. In this world, all of my attacks can hit. And not just me, my allies. You may be the master of time, but in my domain, I am the master. Everyone would move in towards Kang all at once, each one striking and taking him down. Kang managed to fight out using his strength, but he underestimated the power of a domain expansion. Within the domain, time and space and all of those other attributes no longer existed. Here, there lied the conquered and the conqueror. It was only a matter of whose will would be stronger. If Kang had any form or access to cursed energy or cursed technique, then breaking out would have been easy for him. But since he didn't delve to the more mystical side of things, he found himself at the mercy of the 6 spiders. Finally being forced to his knees and forced to submit. They would look on his person, seeing if they could find any communication device of any sorts, until they seemingly found one. They would open it to form a holographic screen where another Kang would be waiting. He hadn't been privy to what had happened to his time remnant, mainly because trapped inside of the domain, he couldn't see past that barrier. What seems to be going on? All you had to do was defeat the variant and conquer the world. Now where are you? You're not coming through on my... Surprised to see me? Shido would say. And just what do you think you're doing? I thought you had gotten rid of them all, Spider King. Wasn't that our agreement? Things change. Now what is this? Some futile attempt to stop me? What? You're gonna try to hold one of my time remnants hostage? You're inside of my domain, Miles would say. You have no way of getting in. And how about I just wipe out this whole world? You want to think about that? I doubt you've killed any world where your own time remnant is. You saw what happened to Kurumi when you get rid of one in such a way. Erase it from existence, and you're not gonna be able to handle the after effects. I know you think that I'm bound to the same laws as your little girlfriend, but I don't have to do anything. If my remnant takes their own life, then I can bypass that little stopgap. Me, do us both a favor. Eliminate them all. The communication would cut off. Kang now realizing. You see the truth, don't you? You're nothing special, not even to your own self. What is this? The Kang would ask that had been captured. You think just because you've trapped me here? Just because you've managed to call my original self? You think that it'll make any difference? In the end, we all wish to accomplish the same goal. But do you understand what you truly are? You're a pawn, a tool to your own self. Can you really accept such a thing? Such a fate? You're trying to play me against myself. I promise you it won't work. We don't have to play you against yourself. You've already done that. You're leading a war against your own variants. I mean, your whole life is a whole oxymoron. You use yourself to destroy yourself. And yet your ego is so great that you would never even be in subjugation of yourself. Wait. You... Now the Kang would have to think. Kang was supposed to be the strongest, the best, the greatest of them all. And yet, why was he? Why was he... No, they're wrong. No, everything they do is for who? He didn't even remember what he was doing. Where was he exactly? All he remembered was being called one day by himself, and he just listened. Why? Kang is not conquered by anyone. Not even Kang. No. We're supposed to. You're just a pawn, Shio would say. The original is the only one with any control, not you. In the end, you're nothing but a liability. The only reason he doesn't wipe out this whole world, its whole timeline, is because it would be of consequence to him. However, if you kill yourself, it's just a sacrifice for his part. He will continue to live into the future. Your future ends here. He wants you to do so. But I am him. He is me. What are we doing? Miles would ask. Simple. I had to think what was the best way to stop Kang. He sees everything. He knows all. A master of time. However, the one thing he can't see is his own betrayal. What do you mean? Shio would then speak up. This guy is an egomaniac. I mean, he's leading a war literally against himself. He's become so corrupt, so mad with power, he can't allow anyone to have it. Not even himself. Kang is like a virus, a cancer. But a cancer does more than destroy the body. Toby Peter would say. The cancer destroys itself in the process until finally everything is gone and nothing remains. No, I can't do it. I can't. You can. No, I can't. He might not be able to see us in this domain, but once I escape, he'll see what I'm going to do. I don't have any way to stop him. There has to be a way. There is a way. You have the power as much as anyone else. In this realm, don't you understand? In this realm, you have the control. Miles would say to Kang. Don't let him win. You can make the next move. The 12th bullet, Kang would say. The 12th bullet? You'd bet, the 12th bullet. It's the most powerful one. It allows me to go back in time, any point in time. It'll take up all of my strength. Everything. At best, I can send you back a few days, a few points, a fixture point. I can send you back at a fixture point in time. You'll do that? Toby Peter would ask. Yes. Having this power. It shouldn't. I'll succeed on my own merits. Yes, that's it. I'll have something even greater. I don't actually need this power. I know I can do it. Yes. I can do it. Yes, I can do it. I know I can do it. Yes, I know I can do it. I don't even need this. No. I won't be a slave to myself. No, I won't do it. I won't allow it. Can't allow it. I won't. Yes, you'd bet. Free me. I'll use you'd bet. Are you sure we can trust him? It's the only choice we had. We were never gonna beat him the way he is now. we had to flip Kang on Kang. After they released him, Kang would summon Zafkiel. Using the flintlock, he would activate the 12th bullet. You'd bet. I'm gonna send you back to a point in time. A point in time before I got this power. You stop him and you free me. We promise. We'll free you. It's a shame. You know, when we meet again in the future, I'm gonna have to find another way to kill all of you, every single one of you. I hope you know that. Yeah, we know. Classic Spider-Man would say. And we'll be waiting. Salvation is mine. With the firing of the bullet, Kang would fall dead. The domain would be broken and the portal opened to the spiders. Ultimate Spider-Man along with the other Avengers looking to them. We're fighting against Kang also. For the most part, we've got 2 already taken out here. Yeah, we can see that. Wolverine would move over next with his claws drawn. I don't like any of this. I say, we hack them all. Easy there, 4-foot Fury. You want to try me, bub? Yeah. What's the meaning of all this? Thing would say. Yeah, Spidey, what's going on? Luke Cage would ask close behind. You've made allies? Iron Fist would say. Spider-Man. War Machine touched down. Kang's been defeated. And it looked like there was another one. And now there are more you. Yeah, these guys have been dealing with Kang also. Well, if he's still out there, then we can help. Let's go with... No. We're the ones that have to finish this. Classic Spider-Man would tell them. Stay here. Protect your world. You never know when Kang's gonna strike again. The group would understand ultimately. Ultimate Spider-Man watching as his other variants began to leave. We got it covered. And with that, the 6 spiders would make their way. Using the portal that had been opened to them, they would arrive at Kang's sanctuary. To the point in time, just before he took Kurumi's power. This is probably the only chance we're going to get, Shido would say. Yeah, if he gets his hands on that, and now that we're all here, he's going to make sure he wipes out all of our worlds. As they made their way through Kang's sanctuary, making sure to go completely undetected, Kurumi struggled as she was on the operating table. As the medical staff that Kang had issued the command began the operation, the anesthetics getting ready to take hold. I want you to be careful, Kang would say. That eye is more valuable than everyone's life here in this damn sanctuary. If anything happens to it, I'll make sure you regret the day that you were ever conceived in your mother's womb. The staff took their orders and threat at seriousness. Kang would leave. Other operations had to be attended to. Waiting for an opening, the spiders would move in the shadow in silence. Kurumi, all she could do was hope. Hope that Shido would arrive. That Shido would save her. In an instant, the guards and the staff would be taken down. All the spiders standing there. Kurumi would look up to see that Shido was here. He ripped her free from the restraints as she fell into his arms. Shido, you... I promised. I told you I'd be back. Wait, Miles would say. If we're back here, then doesn't that mean... Yeah, it means our worlds haven't been destroyed. At least not yet. What are you talking about? Who are these? They're my friends, Shido would say. They're here to help. Look, it's gonna be a little complicated, but long story short, we met someone who used your powers to help send us back. After being told what had happened, the six would now make their way to the sanctuary. All they had to do was get Kurumi out. Although, things wouldn't go as according to plan, as unfortunately they would be discovered. The sanctuary would now be placed on high alert, with Kang now being made aware that his top prize had now escaped. What the? How? How did they get in here? My lord, I do not... Ugh! Kang vaporized one of his assistants. I don't care about excuses. If that girl gets away, then my chance to conquer goes along with it. I don't care what you have to do. I don't care how many of you have to die. Bring her to me! Now! The six spiders would now make their way to the sanctuary. As not too far off on the outside, Superior Spider-Man was waiting along with his forces. Everyone was getting ready, getting into position. Shinji, you and your team. Yeah, we're gonna get into our positions, summon the mechs, and create a big AT field to keep everything inside and keep anyone from leaving, shutting everything down. And then we're gonna move in. Right. As Shinji prepared to leave, Asuka would pull him back. Hey, don't do anything stupid, alright? Come on, it's me. You know I'm not going to. We're gonna get through this. Then, I'll take you out on a date. You know, I always wanted to go to Germany. You'll love it. You'll actually have a real breakfast for once. No more Masayo's weird curry. Hey, you like curry. Get going, you idiot. However, as they were getting into position, they saw a commotion going on. It seemed like a frenzy of sorts. Superior Spider-Man wasn't sure what was happening. Why are they all stirring like that? Shido would ask. This being the Shido that was there during the attack, not the Shido that had been through everything up until now. I don't know. Something must be going wrong on the inside. You think Kurumi escaped, Shido would say? I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't have any idea. Change of plans. We're going to attack now. Are you sure? If there's confusion and commotion going on that we didn't cause, then it's all the more reason to take advantage. Everyone, let's move. Right. Leo Pardon. Ava Unit 2. Ava Unit 0. Ava Unit 3. Ava Unit 4. Leo Pardon and the 4 Avas would be activated. All of them positioned around the sanctuary. They would raise their arms to the sky as they activated an AT field, causing immense pressure and forcing the sanctuary to begin to crumble. On the inside, Kang was irate. What the hell is going on now? Another group, sir, on the outside. The sanctuary seems to be surrounded. What? Bring them on screen. Spider-Man. A pest until the very end. Sir, what do you want to... Forget it! If you want anything done around here, you're gonna have to do it yourself. I will deal with the group on the outside. You all make sure the group on the inside does not escape. Do you understand me? The soldiers would move into position as Kang would arrive to the outside, his forces being decimated from every angle. Superior Spider-Man leading the charge. "You must think you're really clever, don't you?" Kang would say. "Sending in a stealth group on the inside. A two-way assault. What are you talking about? Don't play dumb with me. It was you who sent them. I don't know how, I don't know why, but somehow you managed to get into my damned sanctuary. Well, no matter, because it just means that more of you are going to die. I have no idea what the hell you're talking about, but I am glad you're out here. You wanted a war, Kang. Well, now you've got one. War? You don't know the first thing about war. But I'm a patient man, an educator. Class is in session." Kang would make his way to the group of Spider-Men, Superior Spider-Man engaging with him as the others would join in close behind. Kazuma would jump high into the air, grabbing a hammer that he kept on him. Focusing his Toon Force magic, the hammer would start to grow in size until it became absolutely massive. What the? This is what Toon Force is capable of! Have it! Kang would hold up his arms into the air to form a protective shield, as the hammer and all of its magical force that came with it was crashing down upon him, breaking down his forces and his defenses. In the meantime, Hobie would come swinging in with the others, as the girls would all be balancing on his guitar. "Who's ready for an encore, guys? All right, full bass!" With one strum, he would send off a massive shockwave, shooting Gwen, Satsuki, and Ryuko, all three girls colliding into what remained of the barrier, crashing into Kang. Satsuki would pull out her silk blade as she would begin to slash and move towards him. He used his defenses to hold her off. However, Ryuko would come in with her scissor blade, slicing through and managing to strike Kang in the back, while Gwen would deliver a roundhouse kick to the head. He would use the dispersal of energy to push all of them back, as Lloyd would now jump in front of him, the two engaging in a form of hand-to-hand combat, and Lloyd, not being one to hold back, would go all out. "Not bad, Forger. But tell me, are you versed as well as I am? Only one way to find out." They would continue on in their exchange of martial arts, with Kang managing to overpower him enough to push him back. However, Shirogane would follow in not too far behind. "I know he said not to, but now's as good of a time as any." He broke open the capsule that had been containing the symbiote, allowing it to course all over his entire body. Using the increased strength and speed, he would go barreling towards Kang, raining down as many punches and fists as he could. In the meanwhile, the Evangelions, all of them, would be using their power to fight off against Kang's ships and other fighting forces, holding them back. Sid Kagano would follow in behind Shirogane, using his slime sword to strike away, enhancing it with his magic. "Everyone hit the deck!" Everyone would move and jump down with Kang in his line of fire. "And just what do you think you're capable of doing?" "Don't underestimate me. I'm the guy that's gonna kill a god one day. I kill gods for fun. You're no different. Unfortunately for you, I'm gonna be the last. Now, be gone in my atomic!" Sid would launch off his atomic blast, Kang using all of his strength just to fend and hold it off, as reinforcements would come barreling in. With just the mass amount of soldiers now surrounding them, they knew that they were going to be overwhelmed eventually. Sid would then move over towards where Superior Spider-Man was. "Hey, that device of yours, you can jump to other worlds, right? Yeah, what for? Open a portal to my world. I'll give you the coordinates. And just why would I? Just do it! Superior Spider-Man would do as he said. A portal being opened immediately. Alpha and the girls would be training. All of them gathered together in the hall. 118 of them strong. Rose standing by her side. The newest recruit, the Shadow Garden. When the portal opened, Sid would jump through. Beta would jump up in excitement. Master, you're back! Yeah, look, there's no time for that. All of you, suit up and come with me immediately. Understood. Not too long after, from out of the portal, Sid Kagano, followed by his legion, the Shadow Garden, would all emerge. They're your targets. Take them out, ladies. You heard the boss. Move! Alpha would lead the girls in their assault, all of them channeling their magic to their fullest extent, as they would now match up against Kang's army. With the reinforcements now being called in, and the fighting taking place on the outside. On the inside, Shido and the others had managed to make their way to the surface, just in time to see all of the destruction and chaos that was brewing. This is definitely not what I had in mind. Yeah, still, I've seen worse, Toby Peter would say. Well, at least I get to be a part of something this big, Andrew Peter would say. I'm ready to go through. Let's go. The group would join in close behind, as they would continue their fight. On the outside, the original Miles along with Megami would both be working together. They found a horde of soldiers that they had managed to capture within their combined domain expansion, Chimera's Web. In doing so, they took out one of the legions. However, Miles and even Sukuna could feel something. What the hell? Miles, what's wrong? Megami would ask. If I didn't know any better, it feels like there's another me. Well, you're not wrong about that. Holy what the? Who the hell are you? Look, I know what you're thinking. I'm you, but like a few days into the future and everything got so messed up and what the? There are two of them? Megami would say. Gojo's not gonna believe this. Also, Shido would meet up with his own variant, if you will. Who the? Kurumi! How did you? Who are? I'm you, okay? We don't have any more time or explanation. We've got Kurumi and we've got her out. Now we just have to get her back to our world. Shido. Kurumi, it's gonna be alright. It's alright. Really. You don't have to worry about it. Understood. Kang could see what was happening. On the mist of the battlefield, he saw in the distance the two Shidos, along with his prized possession. No, 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 no! Unleash everything! The whole payload! Operation Blackout! Put it into effect! Sir, if you put that into effect, everything will be... I don't care! I don't care. I don't care if we lose her. I've lost everything anyway. Put in Blackout! With that understanding, Blackout would now be put into effect. All of Kang's forces, everything he had acquired, even the reserves, would all be dumped out in full. Everyone would fend off against Kang's final assault. The two Shidos now attempting to make their escape. Superior Spider-Man had no idea what was going on as he saw. Why the hell are there two Shidos here of all things? It didn't matter. He had the teleportation device that could get them to the other dimension. He had the coordinates set for Shido's world, and he saw him. How was he here of all people? He wouldn't have time to answer that, although he was grateful. Toby, Andrew, and Classic Spider-Man, all of them joining together as they fought against Kang. Kang continuing to fight through all of the forces, but it seemed like it was pointless now. There was no way for him to get through, no way for him to stop them all. How had it come to this? There wasn't anything left. No point. All of them. They ruined everything. But how? How could he be defeated? How could he ever have taken this loss? And then finally, he snapped. He burst through everyone, and he began his final desperate push. The two Shidos looked and saw Kang barreling towards them. The Shido that had been through everything, the Shido that had experienced everything, would push back his past self and Kurumi. You take her and go. But what about, I'll be fine. Just go, okay? Shido would nod as Kurumi turned back to him. Shido. Hey, I made a promise after all. I always keep my word. With that, Shido and Kurumi, once the portal had been opened, would jump through, returning back to their world as it closed behind them. Now Shido looked on, seeing Kang. All of the other Spider-Men now behind him. His forces now mostly decimated. And now finally he was the only one left standing. You all ruined everything. I hope you enjoy hell. Because that's where you're all going. He's activated a self-destruct, Superior Spider-Man would say. I don't know how we're gonna get out of this. You all can leave. The black-suited Spider-Man stepped forward, along with Shido, as well as Miles, the three that had come from the future. I don't have to explain why we're stepping forward, do I? Nah, not really. Yeah, we kinda got what was gonna have to happen here. Classic Spider-Man looked back, along with Toby and Andrew. The six now all standing together. You guys, he's probably got a spare way for you all to get back to your worlds. It's gonna be in that rubble, but you should be able to find it. Use it and get out of here. Wait, but what about... It'll be fine. We were brought here for this moment. Everyone looked on. Superior Spider-Man would send word to Shinji. The mechs would search through the rubble, eventually finding what they needed to find. The other Spider-Man would hop on to the various mechs. Kang was not about to let any of them escape, but the remaining six were not going to allow him to escape. Kang would fight against the six spiders, the spiders of the future. As everyone else would make their way, Superior Spider-Man setting the portal to open to allow them all to get out of here. As everyone began to make the jump through, he turned back to them. Shido would look at him one last time, nodding his head. With that, they would leave, all of them disappearing off. The self-destruct was going to enact in any moment. They continued to fight, struggling in vain, until finally the countdown had reached 0. The world, the sanctuary, everything around them, fire and brimstone is what was left in its wake. As everything started to be destroyed, everyone slowly getting to their feet, ready for one last stand. They could feel the ground under them starting to erode. This is how it ends. Kang could only look. His dynasty, his legacy. Shido and Miles and everyone else, they stood there, ready to accept their fates. In a vaporizing light, everything would fade. The 4 Peters would awaken inside of the sanctuary, the witch's graveyard, so to speak. Upon doing so, they would find Echidna there waiting for them. "I'm glad to see that you all have made it back." "Echidna?" Classic Peter asked. "Wait, where's Miles? Shido?" "They have become memory, lost to the sands of time itself." "What?" "When you entered into a covenant with me, along with the likes of Toby Peter and Andrew Peter, they all share in a piece of the blessing of the witch. Or in a roundabout way of saying, doing so basically was a get-out-of-jail-free card. I imagine this is probably something that will only work once, so I hope you've used it wisely." "Wait," Andrew Peter would ask, "you mean I could have died any time and come back for free? And Classic Peter would look back towards him. "I'm sorry." "No, it's fine. I mean, in my line of work, anytime I die, knowing that I could have possibly come back would have been..." Toby Peter would rest his hands on his shoulder. "It's all right, buddy. We used it for the right reasons." "I shouldn't be here," the black-suited spider would say. "I should have died with the rest of them." "You shouldn't talk. It's not about that. I've lived long enough. I'm ready. I'm ready for all of this to end." "If that is what you want, then perhaps you should speak to her." Echidna would then transform, turning into Satella, the Witch of Envy. The black-suited spider and Satella would now stand face to face. Satella opening her arms to him. "Looks like this is the only way." He opened his arms back and hugged her as she leaned into his ears. "I love you." "Yeah, I love you too." Multiple injuries would start to build up around his body. Cuts, stabs, all over. The other 3 watched on as the final injury would be nailed into his body. Satella let him go as he collapsed to the ground. Falling on his back, he looked up at the bright blue sky, a blue similar to her shade of hair. Maybe maybe I'll get to see you again. And with that, he would fade away, as if turning into dust and disappearing into the nothing. What just happened? Andrew Peter would ask. Satella took back her power, and as such, he just experienced every death he had ever suffered, all at once. From his recent, all the way to the first. The snap, Classic Peter would say. That was the original death. And now he fades away into the nothing, along with his world. But wait, if we've gone back, then doesn't that mean his world, remember, when he was pulled out, Kang had already destroyed it. You didn't go back far enough to save his world. But it's for the best that it ended the way that it did. All of that death, destruction, the darkness. Better to be fade away into a distant memory than live on. The three would walk to Echidna's table. They looked up at the web that formed in the corner of her table's umbrella. They saw the spiders, everyone returning to their respective worlds. Some are greater than others. Some people may view as insignificant. But I like to believe that all the same, each and every single one of them, they all share in the common thread that binds them. To be Spider-Man, it's something quite significant. It's quite enthralling. Your lore, your history, everything that makes you who and what you are. I don't get it. Well, you suffer, but you're more than your suffering. Watching all of this, watching all of you, I have seen you all have the ability to overcome the greatest of challenges, the greatest of darkness, the times that try a man's soul, and yet you persist. Even when things are at their darkest, even when things are at their lowest, you somehow find a way to overcome. You find a way to push through to the other side. A level of tenacity, a level of gumption, something that can't easily be put into words or be measured. It's truly an admirable quality, a trait that each and every single one of you possess. It's for that reason that I believe among many things you were chosen. It's why you are the way that you are. Well, that's comforting to know, but I know. You all wish to go home. Echidna would open the way for them. Both Toby and Andrew Peter's worlds respectively. I should warn once more, you two in particular, you no longer have the blessing under you. If you are to die, it will be for good. It's all right, Toby Peter would say. After all, being Spider-Man, we know the risk. And we wouldn't change a thing, Andrew Peter would say. However, before the both of them could leave, Echidna would call back to Andrew. She would whisper something into his ear, causing his ears to turn bright red in excitement. You know what? Nah, I don't think. Are you sure? Well, Without hesitation, he took the cup of tea, downed the whole thing, and got ready to leave. Hey, are you... It's fine. Let's just go. Hey, Peter, other me, Peter number one, you rock, man. Take care of yourself. With that, the two of them would be gone, leaving our one and only classic Peter. You think they'll be okay? I mean, after all of this, time travel is a very, very tricky thing. Honestly, even I can't tell what the fallout from all of this is going to be. But there's no need to worry. Whatever comes your way, I know you'll find the answer. Because after all, you are the one and only, the ultimate, fantastic, spectacular, and amazing Spider-Man. Has the council reached a verdict? We have. For you, guilty. Guilty as well. I'm guilty. I'm guilty. Like we're all not the same. Like we're all not striving for the same thing. I believe he's gone mad. It will be exile then. Exile? Yes. We are banishing you to the realm beyond. There you can spend all eternity. No. 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 You'll pay for this. I promise you all will. You think you can lock me up? You think you can get rid of me? I'm the best. I'm the best that there ever was. I won't forget. I can't. I know I was close. I was close. I could have destroyed you. All of you. And I will. I will. I promise you I will. I will. He seems rather mad, don't you think? A lost variant. But still, it does not change the fact. Everything we have worked for, everything we have built, we cannot allow him to mess it up. And what about the ones that caused this catastrophe? The spiders. For now, they are still naive. They do not fully comprehend what we are capable of. However, this one, why is it we cannot find him? That's Spider-Man. He seems to be at the cause of everything. The first anomaly. Yes. Finding him will be our top priority. We must learn how he evades our sights. He comes from a realm that which we cannot see. A blind spot. And the blind spot for us is ever so troublesome. Just who are you, Spider-Man? This concludes What If Spider-Man Was in ReZero? ReZero the movie, Spiderverse Edge of Time, Part 2, the Phase 2 finale. First and foremost, I want to say thank you. Thank you to everyone who has watched and been a part of Phase 2 of the Spiderverse. I do want to take the moment to apologize. I know that in this whole series, I probably didn't use all the spider people the way that I probably could have. I didn't give everyone the moment that they probably gotten or wanted. But I promise that I'll probably delve into more if any of their stories continue. Kind of like the fallout of Phase 2. But all in all, I had a lot of fun making this. I'm tired as all hell. Truly, I am. It's probably going to take forever for this thing to upload by the time you guys get it. But still, though, in the end of the day, I'm happy. I'm happy that I got to make this. I'm happy that any one of you guys have taken time to listen to it, to watch it. Truly, I am just truly honored. I have some of the best fans in the world. I thank you all. Like I always say, I can't do it without you. You make the channel grow. You make the core grow. Now, the next 2 or 3 weeks, things are going to be slowing down. I'm going to be taking a little bit of a break. Definitely next week. I'm going to have one thing that's brand new coming out. It's not connected to any, continuing series. It's just, a little something. But, we'll get back to it, going into fall, going into winter. But, we just got to take a bit of a break. This was very big. Very trying, very taxing, but I had a lot of fun making it, and I really hope you all enjoyed the conclusion to Phase 2, Anime Marvel, the Spiderverse saga, now comes to a close today. I thank you all. As always, you make the channel grow, you make the core grow. Till next time, I'm Javon Harrington with Power Core Productions and Podcastings, signing off. And I'll see you later.